Have you ever wondered what Hitomi would be like as a magical girl? And have you also wondered what type of circumstances would lead her to actually becoming one? Well, stay tuned because on today's Madoka Magica topic discussion, we will be exploring an alternate version of the character known as Hitomi from the anime Madoka Magica, where she is able to transform and become a full-fledged magical girl. That's coming up next, so stay tuned.
123で踊り出す456でも踊り出すいつまで2人でいるのかな美味しくできたらいただきます知らないままでもいいのかな本当の気持ちは秘密だよ秘密だよ
Alrighty guys, this is Mommy Sexual reporting for duty, and today I am bringing you my brand new Pulu Magi Madoka Magica topic discussion on what if Hitomi became a magical girl. Now, very recently, I created a video which you can find here on your screen or in the description below of this video where I talk about why Hitomi was unable to become a magical girl within the Madoka Magica series. So feel free to check that video out in addition to this one either before or after watching this video. With that said, let's begin my discussion. Now, in this video, we are going to be exploring the circumstances that could possibly lead to Hitomi becoming a magical girl. Firstly, we need to examine Hitomi as a character and think about what would need to take place in order for her to make a wish to Kyubey, and thus lead her on the path to becoming a magical girl. Now, what do we know about Hitomi based on what the Madoka Magica anime presents to us? Number 1. We know that she is very close friends with Madoka and Sayaka. Number 2. We know that she enjoys piano, classical Japanese dance, as well as tea ceremonies. Number 3. We also know that she is very good when it comes to academics in school, which would lead us to believe that she is very intelligent. Number 4. It is also implied by Sayaka that she is quite rich due to the family that she was born into. Number 5. This is probably the most obvious one, but we know that Hitomi has a crush on the character known as Kyosuke. And finally, number 6. I also believe, based on how things played out with Sayaka during the whole Kyosuke situation, that Hitomi has a high level of self-confidence within herself, for she was able to confess her feelings to Kyosuke and was very upfront with Sayaka regarding her feelings toward him. And as we know, Sayaka was unable to face her own feelings toward Kyosuke, which shows the difference in confidence between the two. Now the thing is, based on what I've seen within the Madoka Magica anime, whenever a wish is made to Kyubey, it always takes place when one of the girls is experiencing a moment where she is troubled by something and desperately wants things to change. A few examples of this would be the following. When Homura makes a wish to Kyubey. As we all know, the reason Homura makes a wish is due to her desperately wanting to save her friend Madoka after she dies within the first timeline of the series. Another example of this is when Kyoko made her wish to Kyubey due to her father experiencing extreme hardships as a minister, and was ignored and shunned by everyone around him except his family. And as a result of knowing all this, Kyoko makes a wish to Kyubei due to her desperately wanting to help her father. My final example is Sayaka and when she made her wish to Kyubei for the sake of wanting to heal Kyosuke's fingers so that he could continue to play the violin and of course save Madoka and Hitomi from a witch. Are you able to see a pattern here? Every time within the Madoka Magica series that we see a girl make any type of wish, it is always due to that girl experiencing some type of troubling circumstances, and as a result of experiencing those troubles, that girl in question desperately wants to change things, thus which always leads her to making a wish to Kyubei and becoming a magical girl as a result. Now, by using this logic in order for Hitomi to make a wish to Kyubei, which would transform her into a magical girl, something would have to happen to her, meaning some type of bad situation would have to take place within her life, or something bad would have to take place affecting someone she cares about, and as a result of one of those two scenarios taking place, that would in turn force her to want to make some type of wish, and that is when Kyubei would appear and grant it to her. Well, if we use some of the facts I mentioned earlier regarding Hitomi, we can start to narrow down and speculate. Now, I mentioned before that Hitomi has a very close friendship with Madoka and Sayaka, so naturally with this information, one would think that should either Madoka or Sayaka find themselves in some sort of life-threatening trouble, and if Hitomi were to become aware of this happening, that could possibly lead her to wanting to make a wish in order to save them. Now let's say that within the first episode of Madoka Magica, instead of Hitomi going to attend her tea ceremony as she mentions to Madoka and Sayaka, let's say that she loses track of time, and as a result of this, she ends up sticking with the two of them as they head to the music store. Let's say that Hitomi becomes part of all the events that take place from the moment that the girls meet Kyubei all the way to the end of the anime. Do you think anything would change as a result of this? Take a moment to pause the video and think about if this one single event would change anything in the series of Madoka Magica, and write yes or no in the comments. After thinking long and hard about this, I came to the conclusion that the events within the series would play out pretty much the same overall, with one possible major difference. And I will be going more detail regarding that major difference later on in this video. From my point of view, if Hitomi had met Kyubei along with Madoka and Sayaka, I imagine she would be just as unsure and skeptical as they were when it comes to wanting to make a wish to Kyubei after hearing Mami Tomoe's words on the subject. And I would imagine during episode 3 of Madoka Magica, she would follow Sayaka into the witch's barrier as not to want to leave one of her close friends alone as she headed into a dangerous place while Madoka goes off to find Mami. I would imagine that just like Sayaka, Hitomi would consider making a wish to Kyubei and transforming into a magical girl if a dangerous situation occurred within the witch's labyrinth. Though to be honest, I can't really see that happening, and feel the same thing that happens in the original anime with mommy dying and Homura showing up to save the girls would still happen, even if Hitomi was there. Moving on. I feel all the events of episode 4 regarding Hitomi would still play out the same even if Hitomi was aware of the existence of magical girls and witches, though an argument could still be made that Hitomi would not have received a witch's kiss due to possibly getting a warning from Kyubey before it happens. Since if Hitomi had encountered Kyubey at the same time Sayaka and Madoka did, then that would make her a magical girl candidate, and as we know, Kyubey spent lots of time hanging around Madoka and Sayaka in the hopes that they would both make wishes. But honestly, I feel like due to the fact that Hitomi would not have transformed into a magical girl at this point, and also since Kyubey appeared to be hanging around Sayaka during most of this episode and waiting for her to make a wish, that things would have played out exactly the same for Hitomi as they did in the anime. Now moving on to episode 5 and the appearance of Kyoko Sakura. I believe things would have also played out the same as they did in the anime, except I feel that instead of Madoka thinking about making a wish to Kyubey in order to stop Sayaka and Kyoko from fighting, that Hitomi would have been the one to try to do this in her place due to Madoka being fearful and hesitant at this time. It is my belief that even though Hitomi's reaction would be very similar to Madoka's, I feel that Hitomi would be the first to recover from the shock of the situation, since from my perspective, Hitomi comes across as being a more level-headed person compared to Madoka, and is also very smart, so I believe she would be the first between the two to make the choice of becoming a magical girl in order to help Sayaka and stop her fight with Kyoko Sakura. However, I still feel things would play out the same with Homura showing up and stopping Sayaka and Kyoko due to Homura not wanting to take any chance that Madoka herself would end up making a wish to become a magical girl. Now moving on, I feel that everything regarding the girls finding out about soul gems and Hitomi confronting Sayaka would play out the same, but the only major difference would be that Hitomi would be a lot more sympathetic towards Sayaka and her feelings because she would know of the wish that Sayaka made to heal Kyosuke's fingers, and also be aware of the soul gems and what they imply for all magical girls and their bodies. Though I still can't see Hitomi changing her mind when it comes to wanting to ask out Kyosuke, since even though she was aware of Sayaka's feelings, she of course still had her own feelings to consider that she had already been holding back regarding Kyosuke out of respect for Sayaka and her feelings for him. So it is my belief that at the very most, Hitomi might take longer to confront Sayaka, or maybe even give her more time than just a day to confess to Kyosuke, but ultimately Hitomi would confront Sayaka regarding her feelings toward Kyosuke, and the events would play out the same. Now, this next part is where I think a possible major change would take place within the story. After the situation occurs where Hitomi confesses to Kyosuke and Sayaka disappears due to her depression of seeing Hitomi and Kyosuke getting together, as well as her own situation regarding her soul gem and body, Sayaka would ultimately become a witch, and due to the fact that Hitomi is aware of Kyubey and the existence of magical girls and witches, Kyoko would not only send Madoka a message, but Hitomi would also hear the same message as well, and all three girls would work together to try to help Sayaka. Now, I mentioned before that Hitomi is portrayed as being a rather smart person in the anime. So it is my belief that with the extra knowledge of knowing about magical girls and witches, I believe Hitomi would be able to put two and two together and figure out why Sayaka disappeared and ultimately becomes a witch. And it is my belief that once she realizes this, she would end up feeling a wave of intense guilt for everything that happened to Sayaka. I mean, if you remember in the anime, after she confessed to Kyosuke, she also took notice of the fact that Sayaka was not coming to school, and though she was worried about her and wanted to see her, she also knew that Sayaka would more than likely not want to see her due to the situation regarding Kyosuke and herself. So her thinking like this, combined with the knowledge of magical girls and witches and knowing of Sayaka's fate when it came to her soul gem and her wish that Sayaka made in order to heal Kyosuke, I feel that Hitomi would feel partly responsible for Sayaka becoming a witch, and more so than Madoka would feel even more compelled to want to save her. Now, as all three girls are facing down a witch version of Sayaka, I can see mostly all the events playing out as they did in the anime. However, as all of you know, there is a point within this episode where Sayaka, as a witch, held a defenseless Madoka in her hands and proceeded to crush the life out of her. Now, a scenario where Hitomi is physically here to see all this play out in front of her eyes, I believe this would be the first realistic situation within the Madoka Magica series that would force Hitomi to want to make a wish to become a magical girl. And the reasons I feel that this would be the case are partly due to all the guilt that she would feel regarding Sayaka and the Kyosuke situation and how Sayaka ended up as a result of everything. And if that's not enough when you consider Madoka being in a life-threatening situation at this time with a struggling and injured Kyoko to boot, I feel that this is at this crucial moment that Hitomi would make the ultimate decision based on all the reasons I just listed to become a magical girl to save both of her friends. I also would like to add, Hitomi would know that part of the reason that Sayaka became a magical girl in the first place was to save both herself and Madoka from a witch. So with her knowing this combined with everything else I mentioned, it makes even more sense for her to want to return the favor and save Sayaka even more, for Hitomi would realize that she would have died back then if not for Sayaka. Now, as far as what Hitomi would wish for in this situation, I feel the obvious wish would be for Sayaka to be wished back to being a normal girl with a normal body. But that about concludes my theory on how Hitomi could possibly become a magical girl. Now, I want to take this discussion to the comment section of this video. What did you guys think of my theory regarding Hitomi becoming a magical girl? Did it make sense to you? And could you see things playing out in the anime in the way that I mentioned had Hitomi met Kyubey along with Madoka and Sayaka? Also, do you have your own theory as to how Hitomi could have possibly become a magical girl within the Madoka Magica series? Hypothetically, of course, since we all know it can't happen, but if it could, how do you think Hitomi could become a magical girl? And also, this was something I did not go into much detail of in the video, but what type of powers do you think Hitomi would have as a magical girl? Personally, I have no real clue myself, so I would really like to know if you have any ideas regarding what type of powers she would get based on her wish or perhaps even some of her hobbies. If you have any theories on this, then please tell me in the comments below. Because I feel this is such a fun discussion and I'm really interested in this topic and would love to hear all your thoughts on this. Anyways, that's about it for me. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like it, then let me know by dropping a like. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends. Also, if you would like to get more personal with me, then be sure to follow me on twitter.com/mommysexual and be sure to add me as a friend on my anime list if you have an account, and my name on there is also Mommy Sexual. I very much appreciate you watching this video to the end, and I thank you very much for your support. Until next time, I am your host, Mommy Sexual, and I'm out, man.